Hello everyone, ATR here and welcome back to the Hearthstone Beta. So it's actually been a while. I've had a lot of arena runs in between the last one that went out. And well, can't really say that I've done any better than my best before, which was still at about 10 wins. Most of them pretty horrible, as is with my usual MO, but yeah, we've actually played a lot, and now a new patch has come out, so I did record a couple arena runs from before the patch, but they are, well, I guess you could say irrelevant, and none of them were really exciting. Most of them, as you probably know, I lost right away. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into another arena run in the new patch where some changes have happened. So let's go ahead and pay our admissions. We didn't really have enough gold to play before that. I had to scrounge there. But here we go. So we're giving the option of Warlock, Mage, and Warrior. Well, none of these are actually my favorite, but I guess we'll go with the Warrior. Yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and play with the Warrior. Go a little bit rushy here, see what we can do. So I am going to be changing a little bit as far as what I normally do, and because at the time of casting this, a new guide has come out from Trump, one of the more prominent Hearthstone 2 players, one of the few ones that is actually sponsored by Razer to be exact. But yeah, you know, he put out his list of, you know, the tiers and such of the cards that you should be choosing in Arena, at least for the common ones at the time of casting this. So I'm going to take from that and try to follow it, and hopefully we can build a decent deck. Now, since this is a Warrior, I'm going to try to go for Beatdown and Charge and stuff, and well, we're giving the first option here with an Arcane Golem, which usually you wouldn't want to take because of the, you know, giving your opponent a Mana Crystal. But, well, hopefully we'll be able to utilize it where it won't really matter, and we're still going to kill our opponent, so we'll take that to start off with. Now, unfortunately for me, how would I say this? Well, I would just actually say it. The list of the guide is not really complete as far as I can tell, at least. It only shows the common cards, not class or hero specific. So I don't know the values, but I'm pretty sure the Arathi Weaponsmith is better than a Fairy Dragon because of the weapon. And I'm a warrior and I want weapons, so I'm going to take that weapon. There we go. So we get a Raging Worgen, a Cruel Taskmaster, and a Cleave. Now a Worgen is pretty good with the warrior because we can trigger it with things like the Cruel Taskmaster, but I don't know if I'll have a chance to trigger it, but I think we'll take it. Yeah, I think we'll actually take it. It is a good card overall, and yeah, we might be able to get more of these because these are, well, common cards. So yeah, let's take that Worgen. See if we can get that up there. Dread Corsair, Raid Leader, and Voodoo Doctor. Now, the Voodoo Doctor is pretty lame. Even though, yeah, we can heal ourselves, but usually by the time it comes out, it, you know, isn't really a factor. The Raid Leader would be kind of okay if we were going to be pumping out a lot of little dudes, but as a warrior, all we can do with our hero power is armor up. Say if you were using a shaman or a paladin that you're, you know, constantly spawning stuff, the Raid Leader would be a little bit more useful there, but yeah, I don't think we're going to take that. We're actually going to take that Dread Corsair. Dread Corsair is a little bit finicky. It's not that great. It has a 3/3 for 4, which is pretty horrible, in fact. But it does have that text that it costs 1 less per attack of your weapon, and since we're going to try to get a lot of weapons, and we already have one, at the very least, we might be able to get this guy out at 2 cost, which is pretty good. 3/3 for 2, that's pretty well. Pretty well, what is that? Pretty good, I mean. Okay, Goldshire Footman, Elven Archer, and Boulder Fist Ogre. Well, this is bad. This is still bad. I guess a little bit less bad, I guess you could say, but pretty horrible. So we'll take that Boulder Fist Ogre. Boulder Fist Ogre is an excellent card. 6/7 for 6. Big damage later on. We'll take that. Shilwyn Yeti, #1 card according to those rankings because of its amazing stats. It's 4/5 for 4, no additional text. It's awesome. I might take it, but I did want to go a little bit of a charging route. We are giving a Core Crown Elite, which also deals 4 damage, only 3 health, but it does have charge. Bloodsail Raider, also another option, but it is not as good, and we only have 1 weapon so far, so it would only be a 4/3. Damn, I don't know which one to choose. I did say that I wanted to go for the for the damn it, no. I think I have to take the Sylvan Yeti. As much as I like my Corcoran Elites, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get others. Sylvan Yeti is just a solid card. It trades usually well, so yeah, we'll take that. Wind Fury Harpy, Dark Iron Dwarf, and Mogushon Warden. The Dark Iron Dwarf did take a hit in the last patch. That's why I, deleted all the other arena runs because, well, they showed cards that were no longer in the same effects. This one used to give the 2 damage buff indefinitely, but now it just gives it for a turn. So it's kind of a nerf, but it does change the utility of it because you can also buff an enemy unit without giving it a permanent buff, which usually only happens if you have to bring the car out, by yourself. So, still, it's a little bit of a hit to it, but it's still pretty good. Wind Fury Harpy usually dies, and the Mogushon Warden is less than ideal here. It isn't, completely horrible in my opinion, but there are better taunts. So we'll take that Dark Iron Dwarf. Whirlwind, Dalaran Mage, and Stormwind Champion. Now, the Stormwind Champion is an amazing card, but I don't actually feel like it's that great for what I'm trying to do because I can't actually guarantee that it's going to have stuff to buff when it comes out. I think we might just take that Whirlwind to be able to have something to trigger the Worgen and maybe other things later on, just in case. Dalaran Mage is... yeah, it's not really that great. Yeah, I'm going to take that Whirlwind, just to have some AoE and do that. Okay, so Novice Engineer also is one of the well, not new cards, but one of the cards they took a hit in the new patch. It used to be a 1/2 for 2, meaning it usually, stayed alive a little bit early game. Now it's a 1/1, meaning that pretty much anything can kill it. Still gives you a card, so it's not that horrible, but it, it has suffered quite a bit. Now, the other card here, the Warsong Commander, is also one of the cards that took a hit. Before, this was... sorry, excuse me. Wow, how professional of me. Sneezing in the middle of a cast. Recording, oh well. Regardless, anyways, I was saying the Warsong Commander is... used to give all your units charge, which was amazingly strong. Now what happened is that it got changed so that any minion with 3 or less attack has charge. So because of that, I don't actually think I'm going to be taking that because it makes it a little bit less useful. I mean, before you would be able to do a lot of damage with this and it was a big threat. Now, not so much. Murloc Tidehunter, I mean, it's not ranked very up there. It's actually pretty terrible, or ranked as terrible. And the Novice Engineer, as much as it took a hit, it's I think it's gonna be the better choice here, just to have some card draw and maybe it's just an early drop. Because yeah, the Warsong Commander at only working for minions with 3 or less. I mean, right now with what we have, we can do what the Dread Corsair, the Arathi Weaponsmith, and the Raging Worgen if it's not enraged. So yeah, I mean, everything else is already on top of what it can affect. So yeah, we're going to go with the Novice Engineer. Not the best choice there, but I guess it's fine. Commanding Shout, Courtlight Seer, and Aesir Drake. Now, Commanding Shout, I feel, even though, I mean, it's not really affected, it got a little bit indirectly nerfed because of the change to the Warsong Commander. Because this is Commanding Shout, your minions can't be reduced below 1 health this turn. Draw a card. Now, if you're in a position where you already had a lot of minions on the field, well, yeah, that's going to be great. But a lot of the times what you would be able to do is use things like the Warsong Commander to bring out some other minions, give them charge, and use them to clear the board, sacrifice them against other minions. And if you use this, they wouldn't die, and you would still get a card on top of that. But because I can't really guarantee that I can utilize it properly, I'm not going to be using this one. And we have the Aesir Drake, which is just amazing. Card draw, spell power, 4/4, not the greatest stats, but it's pretty good, I mean, regardless. And the Cold Light Seer, I mean, going for Murlocs is just a horrible idea, so we'll take that Aesir Drake, I like that. Another Stormwind champion, a Silver Moon Guardian. Silver Moon Guardian isn't that great, but it's not that bad. It's an average card. But we're getting the Arcanite Reaper. We need weapons as a warrior. We want weapons as a warrior, and we're going to take weapons as a warrior, so that's going to be great. Another Stormwind champion. Man, it really wants us to take those Stormwind champions. Slam and a Fairy Dragon. In Constructed, I may take Slam because I like able to utilize it for card draw. I don't really like using it just to kill a 2-cross creature. I think I'm going to take the Fairy Dragon just for more BDs. More beatdowns. The Fairy Dragon is a very good one. I mean, I suppose it's... Yeah, no, it's actually good. So yeah, there's really no problem with it. So we'll take that. Another Novice Engineer, Scarlet Crusader, or Murloc Raider. Now this is horrible. This is like the bottom of the barrel, so you don't really want this this thing out there. For you, at least. We talked about the Novice Engineer. It's still okay, but, you know, it used to be very good before. But the Scarlet Crusader is a decent choice, I feel. It's actually an excellent choice for arenas in their opinion, so we'll take the Scarlet Crusader. I like it also, so yeah. Acidic Swampoos, that is also an excellent choice. It's actually ranked number 5 in the top picks that you should be taking because it is just that good. However, Harvest Golem is actually ranked number 4, so we're going to take that Harvest Golem. The Oasis Snapjaw, even though it's 2/7, it is actually not that good because of the spread on it. I mean, yeah, it can kill things like this and stay alive, but usually you want something better. So we're going to take that Harvest Golem. It's the better of these cards, so there we go. Arcanite Reaper, Raid Leader, and Flesh Eating Ghoul. Now, we said the Raid Leader doesn't really help us out that much. Flesh Eating Ghoul is okay. As far as the classification on this is just an average card. Like you said, it's okay. I mean, it's a 2/3, and if you can keep it alive, it's just going to get out of control with minions dying, so it's good, but it's not the best. But again, Arcanite Reaper, Weapons, Warrior, take that. And here we go, Bloodsail Raider, Gnomish Inventor, and a Dark Iron Dwarf. Dark Iron Dwarf still top choice here. The Bloodsail Raider is potentially very good, especially with a Warrior, because it can get a lot more stats than it otherwise would. And I think in this situation we might take it. I mean, we already have 2 Arcanite Reapers and at least 1 more Arathi Weaponsmith. So if we get it with an Arcanite Reaper, that makes it a 7/3, which is pretty good. Dark Iron Dwarf, number 2 pick apparently, and Gnomish Inventor is still up there. It's number 9? Yeah, I think it's number 9. This is a tough choice. Do I go for another Dark Iron Dwarf? I mean, I do have 1 Dark Iron Dwarf. I think I want to even out my curve here, go up in the 2s. Card draw is nice, but I think I'll take this guy simply because I have the weapons now. I have 3 weapons, so it's highly likely that I might be able to buff it. So yeah, we'll take that. And also, halfway in, I do apologize that we're taking longer in the drafting here, but, you know, I'm taking the approach over here on the suggested stats and such. So, anyways, Stormpike Commando is actually considered a decent card. What was the ranking on that one? I forget. Actually, no, it's just an average card like I would expect. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't like it that much. It's Battle Cry is nice, dealing 2 damage, but it only has 2 health, so usually it dies before it even gets a swing in. Inner Rage and Heroic Strike. I like this for removal, but we do have Inner Rage and a Worgen there that can get triggered with it, so we're going to take that Inner Rage. Another champion, an Acolyte of Pain, and a Nightblade. Now, I do like my Acolytes of Pain because I can get cards. However, it is not considered to be that great a card. For arenas, it's actually the bottom of the barrel in the average level of cards. At least it's not a Nightblade, however, because the Nightblade is just a terrible card completely. I mean, there's no redeeming factor from this one. Where is it anyways? Nightblade, yeah, there we go, in the terrible pile. So, yeah, I mean, we're not going to take that. So I guess in this situation, we do take the Stormwind Champion. It's supposed to be an excellent card. I do think it's an excellent card. I just don't think it would work very well with my deck right now. But, well, between all these choices, we're just going to take that Stormwind Champion. Ooh, Spiteful Smith, Oasis Snapjaw, and the Ancient Brewmaster. Well, between all these, let's see, the Ancient Brewmaster is considered average. I do like the battle cry on it, but it's considered average because even though it has good stats, by the time it comes out, it usually doesn't work very well with what you want to do, maybe, with that ability, so yeah. And let's see here. The Oasis Snapjaw, we said that that was an average. It's actually lower than the Brewmaster, so we wouldn't take that. The Spiteful Smith, I read about it. I mean, it's obviously very good for me, so I think we'll take that, but I'm trying to find it here. Where is the... Oh, there it is. Well, it's also average under Brewmaster, actually, but I think it's better for us because we could potentially enrage it and give our weapons +2, so yeah, we'll take that. And here we go, the epics. Let's see, Sea Giant, big-ass creature, one for each other minion on the field. Hungry Crab, destroy a Murloc and gain 2/2, or Brawl, destroy all minions except one. We're gonna take that Brawl just for a board wipe. Makes it very useful. Charge is also another of the cards that got changed in the patch. It used to be a 0-costing card that gave you charge. Now it's a 3-costing card that gives a friendly minion +2 attack and charge. So a little bit of a buff to its effect, but a nerf in its cost. But I think it's still pretty good. It essentially got changed like that to remove the one-hit kills or one-turn kills. Warriors that were a little prevalent, and I have to admit that I used it myself, so yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. But, I mean, going up against the Shieldwind Yeti, that's just not gonna cut it as much as I like the Fairy Dragon. Shieldwind Yeti is just too good. Let's take that. There we go. Heroic Strike, Battle Rage, and Spellbreaker. Spellbreaker, surprisingly enough, if anybody that, you know, used to keep up with Trump and his arena picks, Spellbreaker used to be at the very top of the list, I think even #1 because of the silence, but he has said that recently silence has, well, fallen out of favor essentially because it's not that useful anymore. I mean, it's still pretty useful. I'm going to take it, in fact, because of that, but it actually, I'm just letting you know that it actually dropped. Instead of being an excellent card that you should pick, it's a good card that you can pick depending on your choices. And depending on these, I mean, because of these choices, I'm not going to take the Battle Rage because I can't guarantee, you know, having a lot of damage creatures out there. So I'm just going to take the Spellbreaker because it's a solid card there. Southsea Deckhand, Shieldbearer, and Murloc Raider. Now, these three are horrible for arenas, apparently. The Shieldbearer is pretty bad because it doesn't attack, so it just sits there, and it's going to take 4 damage, absorb it, and delay. I mean, meanwhile, your opponent is just going to keep getting stuff on the board. Murloc Raider, again, pretty bad. And the Southsea Deckhand is actually considered also to be rather bad. However, from these choices, I think it's the better one. I mean, it does give the potential of using it, you know, with charge for 1 cost with my weapons, and I already have 3, so it kind of works with what I have. Not the best pick, but you got to take what you get, right? And here we go, another Inner Rage, a Cult Master, or a Priestess of Elune. Now, the Cult Master is considered one of an excellent card, so we're going to take that. It is a big threat and usually forces your opponent to have to remove it because the threat of you getting more cards is just, well, too real, I guess you could say. Goldshire Footman, Horrible, Whirlwind, we already have 1, not sure if I want to have another. Spiteful Smith, we already have 1, again, not sure if I want to have another. If I was a rogue, definitely I would take this because, well, you can always have a weapon. But here I only have 3, and I don't know if I'll be able to keep them alive. So I think I'm going to take just a second Whirlwind to be able to do more board wipes if possible, AoEs, and hitting that Enrage on the Worgen if I don't draw, you know, anything else. And I do have a spell power here for the Aesir Drake, so I could potentially deal 2 damage to everything. And yeah, trigger that Spiteful Smith that we have down there. Not sure if this is the right choice in this situation, but I'm going to take that. Another Inner Rage, a Worgen Infiltrator, and a Boulder Fist Ogre. Worgen Infiltrator is the last one as far as excellent picks, but it is outclassed by the Boulder Fist Ogre, and we might just take that. Not entirely sure if I want that Inner Rage. No, I think we're just going to take another Ogre, have more power later on. Nightblade, Youthful Brewmaster, and Warsong Commander. I said what I needed to say about this guy. I don't think it's that useful, even though the 3 damage, yes, things like the Brewmaster can attack right away. I mean, it's just not as useful as it once was, and I don't know if it's worth it anymore. The Useful Brewmaster, however, is considered to be a good card, so we're just going to take that Brewmaster. We can potentially combo it with things like the Aether Drake and just draw another card, or Spellbreaker to, well, Spellbreak again, things like that. Or hell, we can even use the Arcane Golem and accelerate our opponent even more. No, we're not going to do that. But anyways, yeah, there it goes. So the Brewmaster went in, and we're giving another Wind Fury Harpy, another Brewmaster, and a Spellbreaker. Now, the Spellbreaker is actually considered better than the Brewmaster, so we're going to take that. The Wind Fury Harpy usually dies before you can use it, so we take another Spellbreaker. Our 4 costs are very high up there. Another Bloodsail Raider, a Spiteful Smith, and a Raid Leader. No, we already have one. I don't think we want another, and the Bloodsail Raider is... Did we take one? No, I don't think we actually took a Bloodsail Raider because we were given a Yeti to choose from, so we're going to take that Bloodsail Raider. Last card of the day, and that's going to be an Emperor Cobra, Mana Addict, or Cold Light Oracle. Well, I don't think I'm going to take the Oracle because I shouldn't be giving my opponent cards. How many cards do I have to draw? I have one right there with the Novice. Potentially one or more with this, even though it could be 0 if I don't, do it right. And another one over here. So that's about it. We don't really have that much card drop, but anyways, I don't think we want to do that. Emperor Cobra is a big threat, and we don't have enough spells to justify this guy, so I think we're going to take that Emperor Cobra. Hopefully, more guides will come out and will give me a little bit more insight into the rares. So anyways, we're at 22 minutes. Let's go ahead and jump into one game at least. Get us going and see how good or bad we do. Let me cancel out of this for a second. Our mana curve is high up in the 4s. In the 1s, we have nothing really that we want. The South Sea Deckhand we're probably not going to be playing in turn 1, so we're going to be skipping that into turn 2 with either Fairy Dragon, Novice Engineer, or even a Useful Brewmaster if it comes out. So yeah, we actually just have to survive the early onslaught. Well, we'll see if that happens. Okay. I'm not entirely confident about this draft, but honestly, with the choices that were given, I don't really think I would have picked anything that much different. I mean, maybe a couple cards here and there, but I mean, it was pretty straightforward, the picks that I needed to get, right? So anyways, let's see here. We're going against DNB, or Doonbirdie, Dimbirdie, I don't know, whatever. So the Bloodsteel Corsair comes out. I don't know if it's the right thing for me to do to toss it or keep it on the field. This is, well, something that I will need to work on because I don't know what the right choices here are. Because the thing is that for me... there we go. That's perfect. Okay. Yeah, the thing is that for me, the Youthful Brewmaster, I don't actually want to play it in turn 1 because... I mean, not turn... Well, yeah, turn 1. Because it doesn't use its ability, and I kind of want it to use its ability. So out comes a Fairy Dragon that is excellent against a Mage. Mage will not be able to do much against it. The Amani Berserker comes out, and the Amani Berserker will just... Well, it will enrage, so we kind of don't want to let it. However, we're going to give him 2 options. He either triggers his Berserker with his own attack, or he flies into a South Sea Deckhand later on. So he can either trade straight here, he can hit that and go for 5, and then I kill it with this. I think that's the right choice here. Yeah, we're going to put out a South Sea Deckhand and attack him directly. Also, not a great idea to put a minion next to the Fairy Dragon because the Fairy Dragon can get hit by a Cone of Cold. But I think the Cone of Cold got changed as far as the cost. I might be mistaken though, I don't remember exactly. So the Berserker goes ham, goes for 5, and the Scarlet Crusader comes out. Okay. So this is rather good for us in a way, because we are going to Whirlwind to kill that, and pop the shield on this and just keep going for 4. I mean, for 3, this guy is going to take 1 damage, but he can't get targeted by this, so I think we're okay, right? I think we are. We could also just Worgen ourselves, but it would die to this guy and not really take any damage. So let's go ahead and armor up. Whirlwind. Boom. Down goes the Amani Berserker, and we hit for 3. So no shield on the Crusader. The Crusader will probably just trade for the Fairy Dragon because, well, he can't target it with his hero power, which is great for us. If he doesn't, then I think I might go Cult Master. No, you can't target it with that, dude. Sorry. It's just not gonna work. Just not gonna work. That's the amazingness of the Fairy Dragon, and that's why a lot of people like it. Blue Warrior comes out. That is going to throw a wrench in our plan, and, well, he's going to go ahead and kill that. Go for 3 and probably for 1 more. Wild Pyromancer. Wild Pyromancer, that is a thread. What do we have here that we can do? We can just throw the Emperor Cobra out there. We can throw a Novice Engineer that dies to that, so that doesn't really help us. Spellbreaker, we can Spellbreak that, but I don't think it accomplishes much. The Raging Worgen just dies to the Scarlet Crusader. The potential of the Raging Worgen being a little bit better, I think we're going to keep him. We're going to just throw out a Emperor Cobra because it actually trades with whatever 2 of those that get sent out. So, yeah, Emperor Cobra. Not the best situation here. He is gaining map or board control, I guess you could say, but, well, nobody said that I was actually going to do good. I was just saying that, you know, could be worse. So, sacrifices the Scarlet Crusader to get rid of that, and out comes the Mana Worm. And a Shieldwind Yeti, so that's pretty bad for us. Whirlwind is available, but Whirlwind isn't really going to accomplish much. What we can do here is just silence that Mana Worm to keep it in line. Or we can put out a Raging Worgen and a Novice Engineer to have bodies out there. The Worgen would trade with the Yeti probably, and the Yeti stays alive. And this would just get hero powered. Alternative, we do that, and it trades with that and still stays alive anyways. Yeah, we don't really have a good choice here. We're going to throw out a Novice Engineer just to have a card. And a Wrathy Weaponsmith comes out. Okay, well, that'll help us later on, but I guess we are going to have to sacrifice that Worgen. It's unfortunate, but I think that is what's going to need to happen here. So next turn, we can a Wrathy Weaponsmith and Whirlwind. Or something else, or even just armor up, depending. And the Weaponsmith will kill that Wild Pyromancer very easily. The Whirlwind, I don't think will do much. So he's not even going to hero power. He's just going to sack that. Okay. Really? Okay. So he sacrifices the Wild Pyromancer, so I don't have to worry about AoEs anymore, I suppose. No extra damage on that. But he does bring out an Argent Commander, which is going to throw a wrench in our plan a little bit. However, we can still kill it. Taking a lot of damage here, but we can still kill it. So we are going to... This is... Whenever one of your other minions dies, draw a card, yeah. Yeah, 4, 5... 4, 5... Yeah, not gonna happen. Okay, so we're gonna Whirlwind, dealing damage to everything else. We're gonna Wrathy Weaponsmith and kill that. We are down to very low amounts of health, but it is really the only option we have here. We're both very low on cards. Well, actually not very low. We're both on 3 right now. He's a little bit lower, but, well, does he have anything that can deal with my Weaponsmith is the question. So, Spellbreaker, Cult Master, and Shieldwind Yeti. Now, if this thing doesn't die, we can use the Cult Master simply to... No, it's going to die to a Frostbolt, yeah. Okay, so never mind. Cult Master is not going to happen. Jesus Christ, I'm dead. I mean, if he has a Fireball, we're dead. I can armor up and try to stave off a little bit of damage, but not a lot going on here. Okay. Well, Aesir Drake, you're a little bit late to the party here. 4, 5, 6, 7. I can throw out the Aesir Drake, kill that, armor up, but he has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage, and I would be at 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm dead. Could throw the Spellbreaker out. Well, let's see if we get another card, because, yeah, there's not much we can do. Okay, well, that kinda helps. We can get rid of 2 damage and take 1 damage, so I suppose it might keep us alive for 1 more turn, but I am not very confident that it will, so let's do that. Armor up, and get rid of 1 damage. So that is 8 that I have, and that's 4, 5, 6, 7. So if he has any way of doing 1 damage to us, we're dead. Well, 1 additional damage, that's what I'm saying. So any spell, a magic missile or anything that comes out there, and we're screw hit. So he's going for us because he knows that we are in a desperate situation. He's gonna hit us with his fire blast. And does he have a fireball? If he has a fireball, then we were dead anyways. Fairy dragon and fairy dragon. Okay, well, we're slightly alive. No real way to actually stay alive, however, which is unfortunate. But, well, we can get another card. And that gets us a Scarlet Crusader. Scarlet Crusader doesn't do anything. We can armor up and take a 3 damage hit from any of these, and we're dead. So, well played, and let's see. Okay, well, that went by pretty fast, and that didn't really help us in any way, so... I'm not entirely sure I did it right, but again, I don't have the full information, just basing myself in something else. So anyways, impressive start to this run. I know we're probably not going to get any different results from before, but hell, we're going to keep on trying, right? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.